Hi everyone, my name is Tarnem and I am a project management intern with the industry innovation team at Vector Institute. I'm here to present to you a very cool project that I have worked on. So back in the days, 17 years ago when I was a little kid, I really loved communicating in shapes and colors and arts because why would I spend time and energy saying 1,000 words when I can just show a picture? The dilemma, however, is that I wasn't willing to spend hours building slide decks or painting a. Fast forward to 2023, and fancy schmancy generative AI models came about that don't require 1,000 words. The 3 words, the prompts are very enough to generate pretty cool images, not in days, but milliseconds. I'm not here to give you a textbook definition of generative AI. Google traditional autoencoders. You'll find some interesting reads, but I want you to imagine yourself collaborating with people from across the globe. And as you speak to your Zoom screen in English in Toronto, Canada, 3 different people in 3 different countries can hear in their mother tongue because a generative model has picked on your voice frequency and regenerated it in different shapes and forms. So whether it's audio, text, images, music, videos, codes, or even 3D shapes of biological molecules, the generative AI is so close to my heart and soul because I see it as the essence of creativity. And as a recent graduate of business school, when I see generative AI, the first thing that comes to mind is that how can I use generative AI to flip the economy upside down in the most elegant way with minimal, if not zero harm and destruction? And of course, no one on planet Earth is capable of answering this question beside our very beloved Vector Institute. And because generative AI is so deep in itself, project managers, aka myself and my team with the lead of Eric, have came together to bring top-tier scientists together with industry leaders around table to foster conversations that nurture economic growth and improve the lives of Canadians. So here's a breakdown of the project anatomy just for you. So what is so unique about the Generative AI Thought Leadership project is that it's a 4-day conversation. It starts the first day with laying down the foundations and introductions for whatever is going to come after. Day number 2 is all about business strategies and how to integrate generative AI into the different layers of an organization. Then the 3rd day is about the policies and regulations, the ethics that we should be paying attention to when using generative AI. And then the meeting concludes with the technical execution and the requirements for a successful implementation of generative AI. So I wanted to give you more details about the topics for business strategy. Things that we would be talking about are how to reshape your vision and mission, how can you be a leader in industries when it comes to using generative AI, how can you adapt to the evolving business models, as well as how can you compete, innovate new products, as well as allocate resources and retrain your talent. When it comes to regulations, control, and governance, things that we'd be talking about are things like how can I put, or what are the policies and regulations that should be in place to restrict the model behavior? How can I ensure ethical data management? How can I make sure that I have transparent outputs and include humans in the loop? For technical executions, the things that will be discussed are what are the infrastructures, what are the requirements, how can we select and develop models, and how can we integrate them into our existing business processes, as well as what are the feedback loops needed for continuous improvements. So the days are structured with 3 main activities, panel discussions followed by roundtable discussions, and then the day ends with hands-on workshop discussions. And if you think that people end up at table by the process of diffusion and random walk, then you're mistaken, because project managers at Vectors are wizards, and we strategically place our stakeholders in such a way to ethnic diversity. And when I say diversity, I mean gender diversity, ethical background diversity, ethnic diversity, as well as expertise in diversity. So we make sure that our tables have researchers, scientists, representatives from small and medium enterprises, as well as big corporates. The outcome of the project is a paper that outlines all the insights and discussions being said. And then the paper is published on the Vector closed portal for Vector sponsors. And if you're wondering, what have I learned working on the project, I want to say that the project made me realize that I want to be better than in winter. The output of the project, the details paper, the quality of it depends on the quality of the discussion. And the quality of the discussion depends on who is there and the dynamic of the conversation. So I want to do a better job than the chief editor of Vogue magazine when she sits down and designs the list of those who participate in the Met Gala. And I am not happy and I am not satisfied. And so the reputation of the thought leadership project is 10 times the Met Gala among the AI community, and that it makes up 70 to 80% of the conversations of the AI professionals. If you're wondering what are some of the recommendations, how can we improve at Vector, I'd say that we're very awesome at doing our job, but maybe one way we can further be even more amazing is by paying attention to something called work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure project management is basically a very big to-do list of a project. It's, you take the project, break it down into main phases, say initiation, ideation, execution, and whatnot. And then each phase is broken down into big milestones, and each milestone is even further broken down to small little tasks that need to be achieved. You can then throw that very big to-do list into a project management software tool and then generate things like communication plans, responsibility matrices, risk analysis, and gain charts. And I love the work breakdown structures so much just because it takes a lot of the cognitive effort of the project manager. When you sit down on Monday morning and designing, asking yourself where are we in life and where we're supposed to head, you don't have to spend as much wondering and thinking around. Everything will be organized for you. It also allows you to look at the Gantt chart and then not have to do tasks in sequence. You can just do whatever in parallel and make sure that your team is working equal hours throughout the different weeks. And when I joined Vector early in the winter, there was one Excel sheet that was one of my very favorite Excel sheets. It was for the Fastlane project, and it had something very similar to the breakdown structure with a Gantt chart to it. And then my recommendation is that we should be leveraging that for every project that Vector working on. Especially the boot camps, we need to have a big grand breakdown structure where each project manager at the end of the boot camp goes back and reiterates and fixes and improves on it. And we should also have one for the thought leadership, of course. I can be taking the lead on that. So that concludes the end of my presentation, and you're welcome to ask me questions.
I have a question for you, Tarnem. Given that you've worked in the PM team for some time now, and you're experiencing a thought leadership project, how different do you feel in terms of working on thought leadership projects? What's so different from the other bootcamp-based projects or bigger Fastlane-based projects that you've experienced?
Yeah, they're pretty interesting because they all belong to the same fruit basket, but with different flavors, one being different type of fruit. I would say the commonalities on them is, of course, the project management and the in-depth knowledge of whatever AI technique you want to work on, whether it's computer vision or the self-supervised learning bootcamp or the generative AI. As a project manager, you want to make sure that, you don't want to bother yourself with all the details, but at least you know the AI technique well, to know how things are going. But then when it comes to the stakeholder management, so there are different participants for Fastlane, then for the thought leadership, which is directed towards decision makers, where Fastlane is more about how can we bridge between the rising talent and the current small and medium enterprises. And then for bootcamps, it's professionals. How can we influence their everyday to day work. So the stakeholder management would be different between them. And then another thing is, of course, the structure of the activity itself, and the product that kind of comes out of each project.
Thank you. And just have a quick follow-up question regarding the recommendations you gave. So it was really insightful in how you can compartmentalize different aspects. But I want to ask you, in a situation where a project, as you said, in the WBS system, you can work parallel on multiple tasks, not in sequence. But if you have a lot of uncertainties with the project where changes are coming in and you have to adopt accordingly, do you think that the work breakout structure would work in a similar way where modifications are constantly being made to the project?
Yeah, and that's actually a great question, because similar to the work breakdown instructions, there is a risk breakdown structure, and it basically mirrors the work breakdown structure by saying the potential, listing down the potential risk at each milestone and each stage and each task. And the risk breakdown structure also has like the deadlines and times by when you should be expecting that risk. So I would say, like, once you develop the work breakdown structure, you'll be able to develop the risk breakdown structure, and then based on that, both of them will give you like a better insight on realizing which task, or like whatever the critical path is, or like whatever task is that like no one touches them and be super careful with, and the other tasks is that you can like move around it so that you can like have more efficient process in a sense.
Thank you for your answer.
Yeah. Thank you.